Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whatever time you're watching this, you're in for a very special treat. My name is Jayla Roxx, and I, today, am with the producer, the creator, the curator. I'm here with Draya King.
Hey guys.
And I know things will look a little different today because I think we're flipping the tables.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So for the first time ever on this show, I'm interviewing you.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell us, why now? Like, why wait until you get all of this thing going and then say, okay, let me flip the script?
I think mainly because I already built such a good rapport with the audience so far, consistently with the first 3 episodes. So I felt like right now, being this is like the mid-season kind of finale for the holidays, to just like, do its thing. So we should end it on like a little light note. I
love it.
Like, get to know what Clickbait is, what Podcast King is for, and
so we're just digging a little deeper into that.
We're just getting into it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your time.
Let me give you a little bit of background. So we've met once before, literally once before, over dinner, and I got the pleasure to meet you on a personal level, and I'm just like so infatuated by everything that you've had. We instantly clicked like this. It might have been the tequila, but
nonetheless,
I really appreciate you for letting me into your house and be able to do this with you. So let's move right into it. Yeah. So from New York to LA to Clickbait, like all of these things seem like mountain hills, you know what I mean? Like that's something that's these are not just things you just casually do down the street. So tell us, how did Draya King get here?
I was actually out here on vacation.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity to stay. I wanted to expand my network. I've always wanted to live in LA specifically. So when I had the opportunity, I just took it.
I like that. That's
3
kind of
years
what
later,
I did
we're still
too,
outside.
I was like, I'm going to move on a Wednesday. No, I decided on a Wednesday. I moved on Sunday, and I was here in LA on a Monday.
Period.
Like, packed up all my stuff and left. So tell me more about, like, give me a little insight. So you have Vogue, you got Teen Vogue, you have Forbes, you got Jet, you got Ebony, and then now we have Clickbait. Do you ever get like discouraged with all of those things going around? Like, what is going to be Clickbait, like new emergence for the media world?
I think for Clickbait, I'm bringing back positive publication.
Okay.
And it's a little contradictory because Clickbait would usually be like scandalous. But that's not what Clickbait is. Clickbait is kind of just like flipping the narrative. Like, people say they want clickbait interviews and they get people to say the most ridiculous things just so they can have bait for viewers. But for me, I think the title itself is the clickbait because they're going to come thinking it's some scandalous things happening. But really, it's very tangible and very insightful conversations that I'm having with every guest.
Well, I have to say, I am a fan of the Clickbait.
Thank you.
And the phenomenon. You've interviewed some amazing people that have came and sat on this couch. So you being one of them on the interviewer side, so you can count yourself as that. A lot of people say that in order for you to get to where you need to be, you have to do the groundwork. And as a person from Atlanta, I don't be knowing what the groundwork is. So, like, how does that look for Draya? Like, what is Draya's groundwork to getting to where you need to be?
Doing everything with intention. I think it starts with you. Like, what is the purpose for whatever you're doing? And is it going to translate that way when you're trying to have people, I don't know, gravitate towards it? So I think the groundwork is like just like finding yourself and your purpose, and the initial like feeling you have that something is going to be beneficial. You should definitely invest in that.
Yeah.
And watch
That's
it grow.
the word. Invest.
Yeah.
Tell the people, invest in
You got to invest in your dreams. That's the only way it'll come to fruition.
Yes.
Literally.
And that doesn't necessarily mean financially all the time. You got to like sacrifice and put your spirit and your heart into all
Get out of your
things.
comfort zone is an investment also, because now you're adapting to something that you never necessarily thought you would have, but now it's paying off in a whole different way. So invest time, invest money, and invest into the right energy that you bring to your space.
So speaking of spaces, do you feel like you've had different phases in your life?
I'm a chameleon, honey. I adapt
Let's
to
talk
the
about
weather
it then,
as it
because
changes.
you know, like Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce era, then she had the the Beyonce era, the Beyonce era, and then Rihanna had the Navy era. Like, what is Draya's eras? Like, talk about like the evolution of
well, the first era.
the era. I love that. It's the New York coming out. The era.
In like 2011, I was dancing on YouTube. Me and my cousin, we did dance videos, and that's kind of like my introduction to social media. Like I've always used social media as a platform to promote myself. Fast forward from that, I started getting into fashion. I started doing Fashion Week in New York for a couple years. After that, I started working with different PR showrooms, and I assisted on sets. I did my own independent work. I even collaborated with Parsons School of Design, and I actually have like a little certificate from them for helping their first year students with their entry projects. So I have a certificate from Parsons for creative directing and styling. At one point I wanted to do music. That was the era.
Okay.
So yeah.
Would you ever return to doing music?
Yeah. I mean, I never stopped.
You just need like a good little dance track, a little something.
I want to write.
I
want to write. Yeah. I don't think I want to be a performing artist.
Okay. So you want to, that's what you want to do. You want to write. You want to be the Esther Dean of the group.
I want to be the Esther Dean of the group.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of that, all the different phases comes some sort of like power in all of it, the power of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And that means, because when people think vulnerability, it means like, being inferior, being weak. It's more about putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be creatively criticized, to be embraced creatively. Because a lot of people have the talents and just sit at home.
Right.
And be like, I can sing, but, sing around doing laundry. We need, you know what I mean? So a lot of people are afraid of putting themselves out there because they're afraid of looking stupid.
Right.
Or feeling dumb or not getting enough views. So
or not being able to hone their insecurities also.
Right. So with all of those things come this sort of vulnerability power that you have. Talk about like being able to show up in all of that.
Again, it goes back to intention. If you believe in yourself and you believe what you're doing is the right thing, then whatever you're doubting can be pushed to the back burner or eliminated, because the first step is to actually begin. And you'll never know what's going to come out of something if you haven't started it. So I think finding that power comes from the execution.
I love it. Do you ever cry?
All the time.
Do you cry like for good things, bad things? Like what? Like.
I cry for bad things mostly.
Okay.
I think I get emotional when good things happen. Like I can almost cry, but I don't know. Maybe like a really, really nice moment would make me cry. Like maybe if somebody proposed to me. I'll cry over that. Yeah, that's a happy one, yeah.
Is that something that you're looking for? So that means like Draya King is dating? Like
that means Draya King would love to get married one day.
Good answer. Okay. All right, we're moving on. So speaking of dating, you are a very busy girl.
Yeah.
And
I try to be, at least.
How important is finding a significant other that is willing to be your assistant in a kind of way? Because let me say this, like when you're dating somebody who is so busy, like Draya King, you are automatically like the assistant. You are going to be like, babe, grab my shoes, babe, make sure I got my folder, make sure all this, and that's kind of like an unintentional job. So how important is that to have a supportive partner in all of this?
I think it's so important, and I'm blessed to have a very supportive partner.
Okay.
Who believes in everything I do just as much as I do, and allows me to have the creative freedom to express that, and just like cheering on just me creating my own platform. I think that's really important, and I'm very appreciative of that. And in general, I think when it comes to love interests or friends, like you should always have like kind of that care around you.
Right. I read this on, I'm a meme kind of girl, so I keep all the memes in my phone. It was like, if your bait is out there selling hot dogs, you need to be asking mustard, ketchup, or
Okay.
ranch.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
need to be out there.
Literally.
So I wholeheartedly understand that, and my patience is just too short. So I ain't gonna.
Ooh, so wait, well, hold on. So Miss Jayla Roxx.
I don't know. This is your interview. This is your interview.
All right, I'm gonna catch you after the show.
Yeah. So, what should we look forward to in 2022 as we're moving forward into this new year? Like 2020, we don't talk about her. We don't know her. 2021 was more of the rebuilding stage and figuring out, like, you know, how we move forward. 2022 is all about going and doing the forwardness that we plan.
Okay,
so
forward.
What do we look forward to for Clickbait, for Draya, for everything that you have going on in the following year?
Klickbait Magazine, the online magazine, will be launched next year. I'm releasing installments at a time. So right now we're doing Podcast King. So, you know, there's a couple other things coming that I'm going to be producing. So I'm excited for that. And that's going to be, you know, in the year.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to tap in.
Thank you. Tap, tap, tap.
You saw what I did right there.
And also for me personally, I'll be DJing. You know, I just got a controller and I really want to get into DJing. So I'm practicing right now, building my skills. So look out for DJ King, DJ Draya next year.
So you're going to be hitting the airwaves for real. Like,
for real. We're trying to get to it.
I love it. So let's close this out on a positive note. Give me some, I know people say like words of encouragement. Give me some words of manifestation for you.
Words of manifestation. You know, you could do it. It's possible. And although the insecurities may be eating you up inside, it's fine because you know that that's just it. There's the yin and yang effect to everything. The good comes with the bad and vice versa. So make sure that the good is overpowering the bad all the time because that's going to lead you to your destiny.
I love that. So, Draya, like 2021 was all about building what we kind of like, you know, we don't know 2020 like that. So talk about thriving in the middle because we're still in, believe it or not, regardless if you got a vaccination card or not, we're still in a pandemic. So talk about how does one thrive throughout all of this?
Staying focused on what you want. I think the pandemic definitely gave more opportunity for people to kind of like look themselves in the mirror and also like less time to compare themselves to other because now we're all going through one common thing. So it's like
humble that ass real quick.
So even for me personally, the pandemic actually inspired Klickbait Magazine. I did a video series on Instagram Live where I would have different creatives come on and they would just talk about all the endeavors and everything that they've been trying to work on during the pandemic. So doing that show and then months later, you know, just thinking how can I really like hone in on a more professional show type. And I had this idea for a photo series and it was going to be called Clickbait. And I wanted to do it, but then I was just like, what is that going to even consist of? Like, it's a cute idea, but how can I elaborate on it? And then, you know, just after some time, I was just like, okay, maybe I could get other creatives in on it, like this Clickbait. And then it's like, why would they want to do it? Okay, let's make it a magazine and we're going to promote all these creatives, just like how I was doing with the live stream, and just make it a more professional, hardcore, solidified
whole,
thing.
Like phases of Draya. So we can officially say that you just can't sit your ass down.
No, every year something new. I promise. I already told you next year I'm going to be DJing. So
I know. So and that requires a lot of standing up. So okay, I have a bonus question for you.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you get wrong about yourself?
What is one thing that I get wrong about myself? Damn.
Because we don't care about what other people got to say, but what is it that you get wrong about yourself?
That's a good question. Sometimes I underestimate myself.
Okay.
I think that's a big thing that I'm learning to like deflect. You know, like sometimes something will be a little challenging and I'm just like, maybe I should just settle for good enough. And it's just like, no, bitch, push yourself to do it better because you know that it's possible.
Yeah.
So underestimating myself is definitely something that I got to tap out of.
Yeah, we tapping out of that all 2022. We are just like, letting go of all of that. With tapping out of it, there comes some sort of like breaking point. Like, do you have a breaking point? Because I've known you for officially 48 hours now, and you've been nothing but like smiles, all smiles. Like, I know it's going to take something that gets you like, to that breaking point.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's not just one thing specifically. It's just I show everyone respect, period. So as long as I'm getting that back, I feel like we should be fine.
Yeah.
As far as like a breaking point, I think when those boundaries are crossed, for sure. So
don't cross the boundaries, y'all.
Don't cross the boundaries.
She'll cut a bitch.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, I think that's about it. People should implement boundaries and people should respect it also. So I feel like when people intentionally go out of their way to disrespect or cross boundaries, that's when it's a bigger problem for me, and that's when I feel like my buttons are pushed.
Yeah. I do want to do this because I do this for every show. I want to give thanks to the people behind the camera. Thank you to the production crew for, putting this together and taking the time out to be able to help you share these amazing stories and help these Black creators that you've had so far and, pushing themselves. And, it takes a team, it takes a village to make these things happen. And there's no way that you could put this together yourself.
No.
You know what I mean? No matter if it's your show or not,
yeah.
I know you're not in here screwing these mics together. So.
Absolutely not.
Christian,
definitely. The audio engineer, he
Yes.
puts these mics together, and he's like just so sweet and amazing. It's always good energy every time we come here, and that's why I consistently kept coming back to the studio.
Definitely.
Eric, I know y'all see the flash. He handles the photography, and Eric and I have known each other for a while now, and it's always been like, we gonna get this work, one way or another.
That's what it's supposed to be about.
That's my dog. I love him. And even my partner, for helping me with literally everything. He's my number one fan, and everything, and I appreciate that so much. And even my sister Natalie, who's sitting in with us today,
Yes.
I appreciate her coming through. She got her shit coming. We excited for it, Natalie.
Show her.
You want to come say hi?
Come say hi.
Come say hi real
to
quick.
The folks. And I met Natalie outside on the way, to set, and you were just like one of the sweetest people. You were just like, "Are you Jayla?" "Yes, I am."
Oh, wait,
let's chop it up. Don't be shy. Come on in. And you were very like, we talked outside like we was cousins, and I really appreciate that. And I was like, I was just telling you that I've only met Draya once, and the fact that she feels that I'm good to be able to host this show, and you trust me enough with your project, I really appreciate it.
I appreciate
and
you,
that
babe.
shows like, that's what it's supposed to be about, showing all of this like, intertwined talent and drivenness that makes the world go round and put some money in all of our pockets.
Yes. Okay.
So
Cha-ching.
go on and plug yourself too while you at it.
I'm Natalie. I'm Jaya's sister. I'm up and coming. I'm an entrepreneur, model, social influencer. So stay on the lookout for me as well. And you can find me on social media at Natalie Catalina. And I'm honored to be here. So my sister is putting together an amazing project, and this is going to be so beautiful. I can't wait. So.
Amazing. I love it.
Yes. Thank everybody for watching so far. This is episode 4, and we have so much more to come. Not just with Podcast King, but with Klickbait Magazine in general. The new year is going to be some new vibes. It's going to be some better energy. And I'm just so happy to have my sisters with me.
Of course.
And we're going to take the fuck over, so watch out.
Ciao, you guys.
Yes. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Be safe. Don't drink too much eggnog, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.